All right, Paul Finebaum's pissed with he's got some criticism of the college football playoff. Here's what he says: "What are they hiding from? Why can't we know how each individual votes are on the final vote of the year? It is absurd not to. This is America, after all. We would like to know." So, a couple of things here, some background. First of all, the coaches poll and the AP poll are the have been the long-standing polls in college football. I mean, the AP's been the poll since 1936. We use the AP poll at Dawg Post. We always have. We are always going to. I don't use the college football playoff poll because it just gets too confusing after a while. So we go with AP because it goes the whole year. Every year at the end of the year, the Associated Press and the coaches poll release who voted who uh, in the polls, in the final poll. And often during the year lately, the AP poll, I think, is released each week, like who votes where and so forth. So you can see outliers and all that. We don't have the first idea what happened in the college football playoff poll, or committee, I should say. Is it what are they hiding? Which is, I don't think they're hiding anything. The next point is the right one. Why can't we know how each individual votes on the final vote of the year? I think that's a good question. I think that, the 13 folks that are in that room, who is voting, for instance, who's got Florida State as their one seed, for instance? I mean, maybe no one, but it would be nice to know and have some accountability for that. Like, I see a fair amount of politicians, I see particularly in Florida, that are throwing their hands up about this. Listen, y'all got other things to do. This is a very simple solution right here. Just require the committee, the commissioners of college footballs, the college conferences, the commissioners of those leagues, just require the college football playoff committee to release their votes at the end of the year. I mean, that's not that hard to do, and you can do it for the whole time. Now, if that's not how they vote, I don't. I mean, I know that they always use these. Well, we're going to go with the first three, and then those separate, and then we take the next three. Y'all got a public relations problem right now. No one trusts you, and I include myself in that. A year ago, I thought it was very problematic that they had Tennessee at number one. But I didn't have. It wasn't as problematic as having Georgia at 4 or whatever it was. That was insane to me. So I don't know what. I mean, the results speak for themselves year after year after year. That's why Greg Sankey eye pokes everybody all the time about how many championships the SEC has had. I don't know if the SEC will win it this year. I don't know, but they should have had two teams in the college football playoff. Period. I don't care if you want to kick Texas out, Washington out, or Michigan out. I don't care. It is obvious that two of the top 4 teams come from the SEC. Y'all can pick out whoever else you want to pick out. You just can. And by the way, I'm not so sure Ohio State's not in the top 4 too. But we're not. It needs to be that we're saying, hey, this is only about winning your league. Well, we know it's not that. Because if it were that, then Alabama would not have played in 17. Then Florida State would have gotten in this year. Then Texas Christian would not have gotten in last year. And Ohio State wouldn't have gotten in last year. And Georgia would not have gotten in 21, right? We know it's not about that, so that the committee looks favorably upon conference championships as if everyone's playing the same schedule in them, because they're not, is ridiculous and is absolutely, a great example of how to mess things up. At least from now on, and it's not the same, but at least from now on, we have that conference champions automatically get in. Well, lo and behold, there's only 4 conferences now. So problem solved. But, now we're in a 12 team with the ridiculousness of adding a team like Liberty or Coastal Carolina. They don't belong. I don't care if they pull off 2 upsets. It's stupid. And this is from a person who played in small college, okay? It's absurd that those teams would be getting in. This is a Lakeview deep seating chair. Make sure you're checking out our friends from EcoPod. It's not too late to order for Christmas, but you're getting on top of it. And this is just red and black here. There are other configurations of this chair, as I'm showing you right now. So take advantage of it. It's completely made of recycled plastics in the heart of Georgia in Eastman, down in Dodge County. If you don't know where that is, that's the heart of Georgia. Make sure you're taking advantage of all the awesome things we have to offer over with our relationship with EcoPoly. I'm having some technical difficulties, and the committee had some technical difficulties as well. There's no these explanations don't make sense. If you're gonna have the best four, have the best four. If you're gonna have the most deserving four, have the most deserving four. Now the problem is you can't really have the most deserving four, now can you? They've proven time and time again that they're not doing that. I mean, it's really, for me, as a person who is directly affected by this stuff, and I can tell you we are at Dawg Post, it is exasperating that this is the way that things are decided. It won't be better next year because there's going to be more games, but it will be more equitable next year. Next year, the problem is that if you don't win your league, like let's just say this year, Georgia, Georgia's a better team than Florida State. I mean, that's pretty clear. I think that certainly as it stands right now, they're a 14-point favorite. We're going to know, but even if we don't know who's going to win Michigan, Alabama, and yet Alabama is the 4 and Michigan's the 1. So my point is still the same, which is that Georgia has proven that it's the better team over Florida State. Not only that, they're a 14-point favorite. Well, in a season from now, what would happen would be that Florida State would be the 5 because they won their league. Florida State's not playing in the same league as Georgia is. No one is. Alabama is. LSU is. Oh, well, Florida State beat LSU. So did Ole Miss. I mean, so did Alabama. I don't know what that has to do with necessarily anything. If this is going to be a global look at things, the problem is, again, getting back to this whole thing, we don't know what in the world the rules are. To me, I still don't understand it, and I've not understood it for a while. What happens as a Heisman voter? It's a little bit like the Heisman, okay? It's that there are no rules. It's just, what is your opinion? And that's it. That's really what the bylaws should say for the college football playoff. It should say the committee decides on what their opinion is of the 4 teams that they want. Not that are the most deserving, not that are the best 4. We've had moments in time in this thing where the best 4 are the most deserving as well. I think last year was pretty close to the best 4, frankly. I mean, you had Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State all in the thing. And Texas Christian proved that it belonged there too. Now, was Alabama one of the best 4 teams last year? I mean, they might have been, but they didn't get a chance to play because they lost 2 games. And one was to LSU in overtime, and one was to Texas A&M, I think. But Alabama had a lot of tight games. Oh, guess who else had a lot of tight games this year? Florida State. I mean, so that's the real problem here. Now, it's not as bad though, y'all, when you're going from not getting in at all to, well, we shouldn't be playing, I don't know who would be, Ole Miss in the first round. We should be playing Liberty. That's not the same discussion, because at some point you have to win the games. Georgia can't win the games this year. Florida State can't win the games this year. Ohio State can't win the games this year. If Ohio State was 11-1 and got left out, they were 11-1 last year and got put in. They were 11-1 this year and got left out because they lost to Michigan by like 4 or whatever it was. They got their asses trounced last year, and they were in last year. So then people will say, well, this year isn't last year. And I mean, hey, that's a factual statement. But were the rules different last year than they are this year? because I'm not aware that the rules have changed, but the teams have, and seemingly the way to get in has changed. I hear this all the time in college basketball. As a former college basketball guy, I hear it all the time. I watch a lot of college basketball. But I will say this. I will give the NCAA, people hate the NCAA. I mean, I don't understand why they don't hate the college football playoff right now. The NCAA's tournament has 32 different conference champions, or 34. I think it might be 34 now. They have 34 ways for you to get in. Well, one specific way for you. But there are 34 other ways to get in. We don't have that in the college football playoff. If you win your league tournament, you're going. That's it. There's nothing to talk about. If you win your league in college football playoff, you get left out. Florida State says hello.